Because at the end of the day, someone has to pay for it, and that's the customer. But in these years, 2000, early 2010, we were still in a crazy, uninterrupted, double-digit development of the industry. Watches were selling like crazy, and price kept going upwards. Even after the massive economical crisis of 2008 and its consequences, watchmaking was still going strong, as it was pulled by just a few strong developing markets, Russia and China in particular. So everything was already written, and when those markets declined, well, it had and currently has a major impact on the overall success of the industry, as it is now facing a quite tough reality check. So during those years, Richemont fully bought Roger Dubuis. They had already acquired the manufacturing division of Dubuis, since it provided them an extra tool to manufacture movements that would be used by other brands of the group. So with Richemont brands being present mainly in this super luxury segment, well, of course, they are getting quite hit in today's global economic climate. And with the few synergies mentioned before, well, their cost structure is still way up there. So quite a difficult moment for them, and they unfortunately had to lay some people off over the last few months. So more restructuration will probably occur, but the brands are just so spectacular and will for sure live on. But some changes will have to be made, and we're only starting this new phase actually right now. And finally, and on a different level, the management culture is very different from the Swatch Group. With the Swatch Group, and to make a long story short, management is Swiss, in Swiss style, with its better and cons, quite pyramidal too, but Swiss and quite rooted in the Swiss culture. Well, with the Richemont Group, and we have to come back to the original success of the group, with Cartier in particular, when these key decisions were made in Paris, and this influenced the overall management structure of the group and its brand. At the top of most of the brands, you generally have French managers, and one particularity of French management culture is this notion of co-optation. Managers come all from the French equivalent of Ivy League university and business schools, and though the brands are Swiss, the headquarters of the group is in Switzerland, the culture is quite French, and there's nothing wrong with this, but the problem is that in a way you have plenty of people with great strategies and theories, but not necessarily too connected with the roots and some custom of watchmaking. But at the same time, you have to realize that more than 50% of the global turnover of the Richemont Group comes from jewelry, and this industry is still doing quite okay, so demand is still out there. So the times ahead are going to be really interesting, and naturally we wish all the brands sincere success in adapting to this new environment. I just hope it won't have too many consequences for the people we love and that are making our favorite mechanical timepieces. So that's it for our presentation of the Richemont Group. As mentioned from the start, this is a rapid overview of the main characteristic. And hopefully we'll soon be able to do a new series of Who's Who of Watchmaking focused on each and every single brand. But before this, we'll continue to talk about groups with two players that were mentioned in this report: LVMH, the world's most powerful luxury group, and Kering, another big French player. See you soon.